Adversity is inevitable. You will face failure, loss, and pressure not because you are weak, but because they are an unavoidable part of life. A new job, an important exam, a challenging competition, any of these can make you doubt yourself. But remember, that doubt does not define you. Self-doubt arises when you feel uncertain about yourself, when the voice in your head tells you that you are not good enough. In small doses, it can be a motivator, pushing you to improve your skills and grow. But when doubt turns into chains that hold you back, it prevents you from moving forward, making you hesitant, fearful, and slowly eroding your confidence. You are not alone in this struggle. The greatest figures in history, from Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus to the most resilient individuals, have faced doubt and failure. But they did not let it dictate their fate. They trained their minds, learned to control their thoughts, and rebuilt themselves stronger. You can do it too. On this journey, we will provide you with 10 practical strategies to overcome self-doubt, stay resilient, and rebuild yourself stronger. Because within you lies a great strength waiting to be unleashed. Strategy number 1. Accept your self-doubt. It may sound paradoxical, but to overcome self-doubt, the first step is not to fight it, but to accept it. Imagine this. You are in a dark room and suddenly see a terrifying shadow on the wall. If you panic, you might try to run away or chase it off. But if you turn on the light, you'll realize that the shadow is merely a harmless reflection, a product of your imagination distorted by fear. Self-doubt works the same way. The more you resist it, the stronger it clings to you. Stoic philosophy teaches an important principle: what we cannot control should not control us. Epictetus once said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of things." This reminds us that self-doubt is not the enemy. It is our reaction to it that determines whether we are strong or weak. If we see it as an adversary to be defeated, we will remain trapped in a battle with ourselves. But if we accept it as a natural part of the mind, we can move forward without being held back. Try looking at self-doubt from another angle. It is not an evil force trying to destroy you, but a primitive defense mechanism of the mind. It appears to remind you to be cautious, to help you re-evaluate yourself, but it is not an absolute truth. When you feel like you are not good enough, not smart enough, or not strong enough, that is not a sentence. It is merely a voice in your head. And you have the power to choose how to respond to it. Instead of arguing with yourself, talk to your self-doubt as you would to an overly anxious friend. Hey, self-doubt, I know you're just trying to help. You can stay if you want, but I'm going to keep doing my work. When you do this, you strip self-doubt of its power. You no longer see it as an enemy, but as an uninvited guest. Just like Jesus during his days of temptation in the desert, he did not push away challenges, but faced them with steadfastness. He did not react with fear or anger, but with silence and faith in his path. Self-doubt is a challenge of the same nature. It comes to test you, but it cannot defeat you unless you allow it to. Accepting self-doubt does not mean letting it control you. It means recognizing that it does not define your worth. When you stop trying to eliminate it, you will see it gradually lose its strength. Your brain will no longer react with panic or fear every time self-doubt arises. Instead, you will learn to move forward, to take action even when your mind still whispers uncertainties. And that is when you become truly strong. Strategy number 2. Be skeptical about your thinking. Have you ever realized that the harshest criticism of yourself often doesn't come from others, but from within? There's a voice in your head that speaks up whenever you're about to step into an important meeting, present your ideas, or try something new. I'm definitely going to fail. I'm not good enough. They're going to laugh at me. These thoughts emerge, take root, and gradually become part of how you see yourself. But they are not objective truths. They are just a mental habit. The human brain constantly generates thoughts, an endless stream of words and images. Some are helpful, some are useless, and some are completely distorted. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The same applies to your thoughts. They have no power unless you give them power. If you believe you're a failure, it's not because it's true, it's because you've chosen to believe it. Consider a familiar scenario. You're learning to play a new instrument, maybe the guitar. At first, your fingers are clumsy, the strings buzz unpleasantly, and you feel awful at it. In that moment, your inner voice might whisper, "I have no talent. I'll never be good at this." But if you step back, you'll see there's nothing unusual about this. Everyone goes through an awkward phase when learning something new. If you choose to believe that negative voice, you might quit on the spot. But if you question it, is it really true that I can't learn? Or am I just struggling in the beginning? You'll realize that the negative thought isn't trustworthy. Negative thinking habits are like well-trodden paths in a forest. The more you walk them, the clearer and easier they become. But if you choose a different path, meaning a different way of thinking, the old one will fade and a new one will take shape. This is how you erase self-doubt, by refusing to blindly believe in it. Make it a habit to question your own thoughts. When a negative thought appears, don't accept it immediately. Instead, ask, "Is this true? Is it helpful? Does it make me a better version of myself?" If the answer is no, let it pass like a cloud in the sky. You can't stop clouds from appearing, but you can choose not to cling to them. And this is when you need to name and characterize your inner critic, the voice that constantly whispers doubts in your ear. But is it really your enemy, or just an awkward friend trying to protect you in the wrong way? Let's explore that in the next section. Strategy number 3. Give your inner critic a name and personality. Self-doubt is a cunning imposter. It whispers in your ear, planting seeds of fear and insecurity, making you believe you're not good enough, not smart enough, not worthy enough. But pause for a moment and ask yourself, if someone else said these things to you, would you believe them? Would you accept those insults as undeniable truth? Or would you push back, standing firm in your dignity? The sad reality is that we often don't fight back against this inner voice. Not because it's right, but because we mistake it for ourselves. We believe that if our mind tells us we're inadequate, then it must be true. But consider this. If your body grew an ugly toenail, would you see it as proof that you're a failure? Of course not. It's just a toenail growing, and your thoughts are the same. They are simply products of the mind, not the ultimate truth about you. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. You have control over your mind. When you recognize that your thoughts don't define you, you will find true strength. One of the most effective ways to do this is by separating self-doubt from yourself, by giving it a name and personifying it. When you assign it an identity of its own, you no longer see it as a core part of who you are. Instead, it becomes an external character, a chatterbox you can learn to ignore. I once knew someone who named his inner critic Mr. Smith. Every time he felt inadequate, he would smile and think, "Ah, it's Mr. Smith again. What's he complaining about today?" And in that moment, the voice lost its power. It was no longer truth. It was just the grumbling of a cranky old man. When you do this, you take true ownership of your mind. You stop unconsciously reacting to your inner criticism.